Welcome to the Pocatello Business Podcast, the only Pocatello podcast focused on providing profits for Pocatello people. If you love our town and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Pocatello Business Podcast with your friend, host, all-around great guy, and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, welcome to another episode of Pocatello Business Podcast. I am here with Matt and Kolay Sutton. Say hi.
Hey guys.
They are the new and improved owners with the new location of Real Deals. Matt also owns Sutton Construction. They both have degrees from ISU in here in Pocatello. Kolay actually was a star volleyball player at ISU. So we've got a lot of hometown pride here. We got a lot of, that's right. We got a lot of hometown
Bengals.
pride. That's right.
Yeah,
Bengals
absolutely.
Here. Along with them starting this business up again, they're also personal friends of mine. So appreciate you guys coming on the show. And we just want to ask you maybe a little bit about your hobbies, your family, your pets, all the good stuff. Tell us about that stuff.
You're up first.
All right. Well, Matt and I are high school sweethearts, so that's always kind of a fun thing to share with people. We have 4 kids, 2 girls and 2 boys, ranging from 9 to 18 months, almost 19 months. So, and then we have 1 dog, half of a cat, not really, but it's kind of a sad cat.
It's kind of a half a cat for sure.
And 15, the dog ate one of our baby chicks. So now we have 15 chicks, and we live on our own little 3 acres of what we hope to make our dreamland. So that's a little bit about our lives.
Very cool. Very cool. I like it. Well, with 4 kids and dogs and half a cats, you must have plenty of time to start this business, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
Matt was super excited when I told him that I wanted to do this because we have so much free time. So that was actually the beauty of Real Deals, is that there was an option to only have it open 3 days a week. So before Corona, that was what we did, 3 days a week, and that made it work with 4 little kids.
Perfect. Well, I'm gonna get to the Corona effect here in a minute, but walk me through how you guys got this thing started from the initial idea to and have in mind many of our listeners are probably going to think, I've got an idea, I've got a business idea I want to go through with. How do I get going with it? How do I start it?
Well, I feel like it was kind of a long process in some ways. We had talked about opening like a drop ship decor and starting like a Facebook site. We had kind of tossed around a lot of those ideas because I really enjoyed that before. And probably 3 or 4 years ago, I actually emailed the corporate team at Real Deals talking about a franchise. But since there was already one in Pocatello, we would have had to do like Logan or something like that. And I didn't want to commute or worry about that part of the business. So we just kind of tossed that aside. And then last spring, we got like a postcard that said that the Pocatello franchise was for sale. And I just started tossing the idea around in my mind, but we weren't way serious about it.
For a few months, definitely, she was saying, Matt, we need to go meet with Carmel. That was the previous business owner. And we had owned the soda barn before, and we had sold out and sold a property, and we had some money to go and invest. And she kept coming back every other week until I finally said, okay, we can go meet with her. And then we met with her, and I was like, we got to think about this. We got to think about how we're going to pay for it, how long it's going to take to make all that money back. And it was kind of a back and forth for another month how we decided to pull the trigger.
Yeah. And those of you who do not know Matt Sutton, he is a wizard at finances and numbers. So, but
Thanks,
that being,
Spencer.
you are, you
That's
know,
what put me on a high pedestal.
Matt and I used to be business partners at one point when we did commercial real estate together, and then we found our ways doing other things as well, but we're still keeping close touch. That being said, you still don't need to be, you know, a master of finance and stuff to be able to put something like this together, right? Trying to give everyone hope that you don't need to know all that right up.
Absolutely. And one thing that honestly for us was
Mhm.
hard is being self-employed. Banks really don't like to lend us money. So we actually had to get creative with finances. So we invested some of our own money, like we said, but we had to leave ourselves some money for life in general too. We couldn't empty out our savings account. And so we ended up finding a couple private investors who were willing to invest in our company. We showed them the numbers and wrote up a plan. And then Carmel and her husband, actually owner, carried our part of the franchise fee. So we're on, you know, making payments to them. So like you said, it can be hard, and you don't have to have this liquid cash all the time. In fact, I would say sometimes it's not the best option to liquidate all your cash into a business. And
I would say
creative ways to do that. But you also have to have, I mean, we obviously, the personal investors trusted us and knew we were good for our word before they would give us that money.
Exactly.
Another side note is we talked about this of we weren't going to pull any money out for potentially the first 1 to 3 years because we wanted to clear all of our debt on that business so it could just be a residual income.
Sure.
But I think a lot of people don't try and have that safety net, and they jump too far in, and it just kind of bites them in the butt, and then their business, they don't have enough money in their cash cow to have the cash cow survive, and then it just dies. And that's too stressful for most people to deal with, and it's really hard.
No, exactly. Am I coming through a little weird on my side of the microphone here?
No, you're okay. You're a little laggy, but your voice,
Okay.
your audio is good.
Okay, hopefully this works out for us still going forward. So yes, I agree with everything you guys said. And when I said you don't need to be a professional at finance, that doesn't disregard that you need to know your numbers. You need to know what you're getting into. You need to know what your cost of goods sold is going to be, what your overhead is going to be, and what your net profits need to be to continue to operate. So that's good that you guys found different sources of financing because typically banks don't want to loan you as a new startup or new LLC for 2 to 3 years of showing some tax returns and all that fun stuff. So
and hopefully at that point we don't need them.
That's exactly
That's our
right.
goal.
That's exactly right.
To be our own bank at that point.
Yep. So, okay, well, perfect. Now, what are your future goals with this business?
I think, in the grand scheme of things where we do own one other commercial property, we understand the pros of investing in real estate. It's a great place to be. So I think our long-term goals would be to own our own building, probably a little bit bigger than the one we have, and continue to run the store out of that building. But on a more short term, like we said, eliminate debt. I feel like we really are trying to reestablish Real Deals in Pocatello. I have people come in all the time like, oh, I didn't know you were here, or oh, we didn't know you carried clothes. And so there's a lot of things that people don't know about our store. So that's
sure.
We've got to build a clientele more so than the one we have, and just continue to grow the business so that the business can grow into those goals that we have.
Correct.
Cool. And if the Kirkhams listen to this, we love and appreciate our landlords.
It's not. We're a long ways away from that.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is Kolay's more or less managing it, and I still say she really enjoys it. Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest things is for her to continue to enjoy the business, because when it turns sour and it kind of becomes this a drag and it becomes something you don't work at and your heart's not in it. And when your heart's in it, not in it, a lot of the employees can feel that as well as the customers can feel that as well. And I know Kolay had written out when she hits 100,000, she's going to do this, or $300,000 in gross sales, she's going to do this. And a little of that has had a big hiccup with the coronavirus, but at the same time, she's doing really well.
You were actually the one who told me about that, Spencer, that you put stuff in your Amazon cart and then you set goals and like you can, and I really like that. I like certain things. And so I set, my phone's fine. Like it's not a bad phone, but I take tons of pictures for work. And so once we hit that $100,000 goal, I'm getting a brand new phone. And so those are things I am working towards as far as that goes.
That's perfect. And I actually have a Molinelli's Citizens watch in my drawer here that I have yet to wear. But I loved it and I bought it, but I brought it prematurely, but I wanted it. So I'm like, okay, I bought it, but I'm not wearing it until I hit a certain goal. So
No, I think it is. I think it's Matt is not overly motivated by like things or extrinsic things, but I totally am. So I think you were the one that said that, and I was like, I like that. So there are some goals and things that I would like to hit, and then I will reward myself, or some of them, one of them's even for Matt, just because it's something I want to work towards to like buy for him.
Yeah. I think if anyone has ever watched Parks and Recreation, there's a phrase there. They always say, treat yourself.
Yeah. No, it is true.
And it's true. You have to have things to work towards. You have to have little things that you enjoy as you hit these milestones. So that's good.
Yeah.
So when did you open up the doors now? What date was it when you opened up?
January 9th, 2020.
So you guys had what, about 2.5 months of operations as normal before Corona hit?
Yeah, I would say the first week of March was normal. And then after that, you started seeing some shifts in like spending habits and the amount of customers coming into our store. So March was like, as much as it wasn't shut down, I don't feel like our numbers are the same as what they'll be maybe next March.
Sure. Oh, for sure. Now, give us and some of the listeners some ideas of how you guys got creative to continue to process sales and to make business happen during this shutdown.
I think we looked at as many options as we possibly could, and we said, okay, what can we do? What time can we dedicate to each of these? Because I still work full time at a different company, and Kolay manages 4 kids a lot, and she does apartments and kind of other things. We said, okay, what can we do to help with this business? So we decided that I was going to go over online sales and tying it in with social media a little bit. And I sat down and we put as many products on as we could. We learned a lot of hiccups through that, and some went good, a lot went bad, but we figured that out. And then Kolay was able to do a lot of social media kind of things.
Well, the one nice thing too is online sales was kind of in my within 6 months I want to get going on that, but I really didn't have a lot of time. And so that I told Matt that was kind of on him, but I feel like that was a pro probably of Corona, because it really pushed us like speed course into getting online sales. And I don't think that's something that's ever going to hurt our business.
Oh yeah.
Just get better at using it. So that was good.
I tried lots of things. Honestly, we had just received 8 pallets worth of stuff.
Wow.
Like before we could ever open our doors. Yeah, like we thought we were going to be open for one weekend after we got it, and then we couldn't even open that weekend. So, and some of it even was Easter decorations, and I was like, how are we going to get rid of this? So we did a couple live sells, and those went really well. We just did those on Facebook to our viewers, like on our page.
Very cool.
And that went really well, but it was tricky to balance like who gets what, and collecting money. Venmo is like been my saving grace for the last 2 months, honestly. But I told everyone I need like the theme song Every Day I'm Hustling, because I literally have hustled my booty off for the last 2.5 months. with sales. So I would post really actively on social media. I called people would send me pictures, I would text message back and forth. Like, I basically tried everything I could. When the baby went down for a nap, I left to the store. I was at the store for an hour and a half to 2 hours each day, and on average we were selling somewhere between $200 and $300 each day. So I just like
Awesome.
would grind it out for 2 hours as much as I could, and then come home and be mom and answer more questions and tell people I'd get back to them tomorrow. When I got to the store, I had to get like a notebook
It's awesome.
to keep track of all the things and where I was communicating with people. But we really were blessed, and so many people supported our business. So I cannot take all the credit, but I will say that I did work hard.
No, I agree with you. You know, number one, we do have an amazing community, and I was just talking about that with one of our other guests on one of our other episodes, that they were able to surround each other and really help each other out. But at the same time, it does take the hustle that you mentioned. Like, you could either curl up and die and cry about the coronavirus, or make something happen. Now, not all businesses have that luxury.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to put that out there because I don't want to sound insensitive. But
No, because our tenant, we have a tenant that owns a bar and a pool hall, and
exactly.
there wasn't much he could do to hustle
Exactly.
for the last month and a half. It was
Exactly.
unfortunate for him. But
It is very
we
unfortunate.
were able to provide curbside service, and that made it possible for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just enjoy hearing the tales of the hustle. So did you guys freeze up on me? So yeah, we had a little glitch there, but yes, we were talking about the power of the hustle, and I love that. And even though some people aren't fortunate enough to be able to do that right now in their businesses, I still enjoy, and everyone enjoys hearing stories about hustling to getting things accomplished. So very good. Now, what are some of the roadblocks you tell people to watch out for as they're starting a company or trying to improve their company or grow their company?
I think two key principles is, number one is analysis by paralysis. Basically meaning they want to make sure that they're going to have all their numbers in a row, or they're going to have everything absolutely perfect before they try and build a prototype or try and actually sell something. Because as soon as you have something to sell, that's when the learning actually begins. It's really not until then, because you're going to get the customers be like, well, what about this? Or what about that? Or what about this? And it's like, well, I never thought of that. What would I do? So you kind of step back and do that. The other one, are you there?
Yeah.
And I think the other one is this: make sure you have enough funding. If you're going to raise funds or put money into the company, you want to have, I don't know, 20, 30, 40% more than you even budget for, if you can. Because if you have that, you know that something's going to come up, or you're going to have something that's going to break if you have equipment, or the remodel on your building is going to take a little bit more than you thought. And that just covers that. Because if you don't have enough money in the cash cow, it's going to be dead. So what other principles do you think of?
I think just like money, I feel like everything takes more time than you think. So if you set like a 3-month time before you're going to open, probably plan on 4 or 5. Or if you think you can do something in a day, it's probably going to take 2 or 3 days. There's just so many variables in business. And I feel like you have to be realistic with your time. So for us, it took a little longer than we thought to finish the remodel, or it takes more time away from my kids than I originally thought. And so at first, there's always more time and more money that are required. But I do think eventually you can scale all those things back and get to your goal, which my goal was to work 20 hours a week. And I feel like we were getting really close to that before I had to start hustling so hard.
Yep. I love seeing systems being put in place. Are you hearing me okay? Or am I?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love it when people get systems in place and processes in place, make their lives easier and let their companies run in a smooth manner. So
Yeah.
let's move on now to a fun question I like to ask everyone towards the end here. What is your favorite local restaurant to get takeout from, especially with the coronavirus coming through right now?
I feel like we've made like a really good effort at least twice a week to support some local business, whether it's lunch or treats or dinner. So one of my favorites probably that we've done is Buddy's Pizza.
It's a good one.
So
That's one I was gonna pick. And the other one probably Mandarin House.
There
we
you
did
go.
Mandarin House the other day. That's our kids' favorite for
Yeah,
sure.
for
They
sure.
they love their fried rice. So that is a kid favorite. But I mean, we've done donuts. That's been a fun one. We did donuts. I go to the soda barn probably too many times.
Well, good.
But yeah, Buddy's is probably our go-to. And I even shipped my cousins some of their salad dressing. They sell their salad dressing by
Oh,
the
wow.
jar. You can send it to your family who loves Buddy's.
Hey, yeah, and they can just not want to be kissed
Have bad breath
miles
all
away.
the way.
But it is worth eating though, because it is amazing. So
Yes.
So perfect. I appreciate you guys coming on the show with me today. Is there anything I didn't ask that I should have?
I think my best advice probably that people don't think about in business is find a business partner that you trust and you work really well together. We really like being each other's business partners, and that works for us. I know that doesn't always work for people to work with their spouse or whatever, but just because someone's your best friend doesn't mean they're always going to be your best business partner. A lot of times the best business partners are people who are really different. Matt and I are super, super different. So I feel like our strengths and weaknesses balance each other out. So I just encourage people to like look for that if you're finding business partners or if you're trying to go into an endeavor. Find people that whose personalities complement yours and who you can go through the yucky times with and the fun times with.
Sure. And then also finding, especially maybe not so much when you guys are married, but when you're having a business partner outside of your marriage, find an attorney, put things down on paper, because I think that kind of thing saves friendships and saves partnerships.
Absolutely.
It's spelled out.
Yeah,
So.
no, I agree. And I think sometimes up front people get like offended by that, like, oh, you don't trust me. But I just think it's better for everybody that way to run your business like any big corporation would, or any big business who's been successful. Just put those steps in place so that your business runs smoothly.
I wholeheartedly agree. So where can they find you guys if they want to come to Real Deals?
Yeah, we're across Yellowstone from Mama Inez, which is also another great local restaurant. Spencer and I frequented there in college, so they have yummy food. We're right next to the Army recruiters in like a long strip building. We're the back part of it, and it's all painted white with a big black sign. So once you're looking, we're easy to find, but you're gonna have to look for us there in the back. And starting tomorrow, I guess this will get aired after tomorrow, but starting tomorrow,
May 1st being tomorrow.
May 1st, we will be open our regular hours. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Perfect. Well, appreciate you guys coming on today. I know our listeners are going to get a lot out of it. So I hope we have you guys on again later on.
Yeah, we love that.
Wish you all the best.
Thanks, Spence.
Yep. See ya.
See ya.
Until next time, guys, for the next episode, we will see everyone later.
Congratulations on spending a couple minutes getting just a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Pocatello business community. If you are feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.